definitely they should be listening a lot. I think the worst product managers I've ever met will usually come in as a product manager and say, okay, here's the process I've used. It works. I'm just going to go for it. And like, they just change everything, right? The reason why that's bad is that you don't understand the history of the context of the organization, right? There's a reason why people do things. Even if it's a really bad way to do things, there's a reason why they do it. And so the first day, like, you know, you're getting to know people, you're maybe getting Wi-Fi access. So that's kind of a wash day. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to figure out how to sign up for your 401k potentially if you're lucky enough to work for an organization like that. But the first week, it should really just be about like you're meeting all your team members. You're meeting people that are ancillary to your team members, right? You're probably being sent tons and tons of documents that may or may not be actually helpful or up to date. You should have already been using the product that you're going to be working on. You should have already been using your competitive products. You know, I think getting to talking to real users as soon as possible, I think is really important for that first week or so. So like, I think this is where in organizations I've run, if we do have, say, customer support, I think it's really important for people to like temp in customer support if it's a separate organization. I think that's really valuable. I think there's a lot of stuff that's out there that you actually don't know is valuable, or the team doesn't know that it's valuable from a document or from a information standpoint. So the way that I've looked at that is I've tried to make some type of small change or make some type of small discovery within the first week or two. And usually getting from end to end of that discovery or change, you have to run through the gauntlet of everybody to a certain extent. So I think like it doesn't have to be big, and I'm not saying that like you're going in and you're just like trying to just change everything, but like there's probably an idea that you have that you want to try out, and ideally your organization is accepting of that type of thing. And if it's not, you should be working on that. Like you should be getting people into the habit of experimenting and to trying things out. And it's that combination of like figuring out what is the information that people think. This is like, again, gets back down to the very interesting thing around sense making and like the way people are, is that you could ask me to write down everything I know about a topic, and I would only write down probably very limited amount that I know about a particular topic, right? The problem is that it's like the Oracle. You have to ask the right questions to get all of the information out, right? And so the times that I think are most interesting are like, one, talking to customers, and two, trying to get something done in the organization. That will tell you so much about the way the organization works, the way the product gets things done, like information that people don't think is important, but that you actually need to ask to actually find out, rather than then just writing something down. So that's like the first couple weeks. I think the other thing that is important is that if your team is not doing retros on a regular basis, and I think, you know, we do retros on a weekly basis, and some people feel like that's maybe too frequent. We try doing it every 2 weeks, but it's still, we try doing a certain type of retro every month and a different type of retro every month, alternating every 2 weeks. And it wasn't right. Like, it just didn't feel right. We're still tweaking our retro. Like, you know, the traditional retro I think works great, and so I would just do that. But like getting into a habit of doing a retro at least every month, if not every other week, ideally every week, because you can really make constant change that way. You can also tell when a problem is not being resolved, right? Like, I think that type of retro schedule is something that's not, if it's not being done in your organization, you should start doing it as soon as possible. So that's more like, once you've gotten acclimated, you maybe have started to build some trust with the team, you can start to introduce the idea of like retros and stuff like that. Yeah, that to me, those are kind of like the main things that I would do. I think it's always different depending on the industry as well. But again, just recapping, like, you know, first step is really trying to get to talk to your customers as much as possible, as early on as possible. Try to ship something with the company, or try to get something done with the company as soon as possible, and then just build in mechanisms for feedback. Those are really the main things that I worry about in any role.